Hello. Okay, so I wasn't sure if it was live. So I'm Chantel, your therapist, and today we're going to do like an overview, kind of talking about the emotions wheel or the feelings wheel in combination with some anger management techniques. That's like a review because with therapy and counseling in general is a lot of the same techniques, it's just different modalities that we use. Like we use cognitive behavior therapy, which focus on your thoughts, feelings, and action. We use dialectical behavior therapies where we look at like opposing like opposites of how we feel, you know what I'm saying, and learn how to regulate our emotions through certain techniques, almost like distraction techniques when your emotions are too heightened. And we use concepts like the wise mind concept, where you have the rational mind, and then you have the emotion mind. Okay, and in the middle of those two is the wise mind, where you pull in from your rational state of mind and your emotional state of mind. But we use different techniques. Okay, so I'm doing like a little review. The main thing is a lot of what we forget when we are in therapy is to process how we feel, which means we have to identify how we feel. Okay, so half the battle is first identifying our emotions. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you right now to think about how you feeling today and give me three emotions from the emotion wheel that like gives you an idea about how you feel. Okay, and I'm gonna post the emotion wheel, like I think in the chat somewhere down there, so that you can have it. Sorry about that. And then I want you to just pick. Okay, like I'm gonna pick one. So I'm looking at the middle circle, which is more like the core emotions, or what I say I'll call them the primary emotions, is listed as sad, mad, scared, joyful, powerful, or peaceful, right? So right now I would say that I feel peaceful. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like any stress. I don't feel any, nothing major going on. And then they look on a second layer is even more words to describe how you feel. So you go ahead and take a look, and I'll take a look and kind of get an idea of how I'm feeling right now. Besides peaceful, I'm looking at the second layer of the wheel, the second tier, and let me see how I feel. I feel content. That's the next word with how I feel. So you look at the feelings wheel and you try to identify what your feeling is. And on the last tier, the third tier, let me look there and you look also. I feel thankful. And there's the many reasons I feel thankful. So now I'm going to list my emotions. So I said I felt peaceful. I felt content, I think. And then I said I felt thankful. Okay. Those are my feelings for today. And what I want to do is always kind of get you guys to refer back to this wheel so that you can identify your feelings at least twice a day, like in the morning or like midday, and then maybe in the evening when you go to sleep, just to get an idea of how you're feeling. So you can check in with yourself. You know what I'm saying? People ask you, oh, how you doing? People just, oh, I'm good. But people never really tell the truth. No, ask yourself, how am I doing? What am I feeling today? And then go to the wheel and list it. So I'm feeling peaceful, content, and thankful. What's behind my peace? Behind my peace, I just feel grateful that it's like a nice day. It's a Sunday. I feel relaxed. It's actually Easter Sunday. And I feel content because I don't feel like a urgency or a rush or like a pressure, to do some things. And I'm thankful because I have this calmness about me. I'm able to observe and like be grateful for what I have, what I've done, things that I've accomplished. You know what I'm saying? It's taking that time. So that's me. One, identify my emotions. And then secondly, I just identify why I feel that way, which made me kind of logic that. So I had the emotion. Remember, talk about the wise mind. So we have the emotion mind, which is I'm identifying my emotions. And then we got the rational mind or the logical mind. And I explain why I feel those ways. Okay. So that's two things. So now that I got those two things in my mind, like I'm just grateful, I'm thankful, I feel like at peace, I'm content. It's like I can operate from a wise mind perspective. You know what I'm saying? So I know how I'm feeling. A lot of times we don't know how we feel, or we tend to suppress our feelings. And when we do that, we can get triggered by situations later on, and then we can like blow up. Okay. So if I was actually irritated and frustrated, and I was trying to like be all proper and like be cool, and then somebody said something to me and it triggered me, and I might just go off. And then people like, dang, why did she go off? That wasn't even called for. And it probably wasn't, but it's the fact that I did not really get in touch with how I was really feeling. It's almost like my body is looking for an outlet to take it out on somebody. You know what I'm saying? So if we can identify how we feel, get in touch with ourselves, and be honest, because you don't have to be good emotions. Sometimes they're negative emotions. You know what I'm saying? I feel angry because I don't know. I got an F on my test. I feel angry because my boyfriend and girlfriend was my boyfriend and girlfriend, we got an argument, and like she or he was wrong with what they said, or I feel angry because my mom wouldn't let me go do such and such when she said if I did X, Y, and Z, I would get to do this. You know what I'm saying? Just be honest instead of like suppressing it, because a lot of times when we suppress our negative emotions and then we tend to blow up or we flip our lid, is typically towards a person that's not it shouldn't have been like directed towards them, so it messes up your other types of relationships. Okay, so that's that. So refer back to the feeling wheels twice a day, and then just kind of get in touch. 3 feelings from each tier: the middle, the second layer, the third layer, and then ask yourself what's behind that emotion. Okay, first ask yourself, what am I feeling? List 3. And then second thing is what's behind that emotions, as you identifying your feelings and as you processing through it. Okay, all right. So now when we think about anger, we think about we got to look at skills in order to like calm our anger down. Okay, so the first technique that we use is recognizing what your warning signs are, like when you start to feel angry. Okay, because when you get angry, a lot of times when you get angry, um you do have sensations in your body. Okay, so remember, we're talking about feelings. Feelings are when we describe them with words, but they're actually sensations in our body. So if I was angry, my whole body might feel hot. My voice might get heightened. I might start balling my fists or something like that. I might start shaking, or I become argumentative. So the first time I notice one of the signs that I'm getting angry, I need to take that time out, take a time out. Either step away from the situation and temporarily leave. You know what I'm saying? So you don't like get so heightened where you mess up a relationship with somebody. You can say, "Can you just give me a few minutes?" You know what I'm saying? I just need to, so I need to calm down. Okay. And then what you do, you start taking those deep breaths. Just take a minute to breathe. Just deep breathing into the nose, in on the count of 2, hold for 1 second, out on the count of 4. And you do that like 2 or 3 times to kind of like calm yourself down, right? Because it takes your mind off the situation if you're doing a count and you consciously aware you're breathing, and it helps you get in touch with truly how you feeling, and then maybe you can express things differently. Okay. So those are some techniques. So recognize the early signs of when you start to get angry. And then when you do notice that you're getting angry, instead of engaging at a heightened anger state that can make a situation worse, take time out. So I'm just gonna walk away for a minute. I just need to I just need to calm down, and then do your breathing. That's just like simple technique. Okay. Now, in general, like if you're going through a period of time in your life where things are very stressful and it's hard, like everything is making you upset because it's just not a good time. One thing I recommend is doing exercise on a regular basis, at least like 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes, I'm just gonna say 3 times a day, but if you can do it 5 times, I said no, 20 minutes, 1 time a day, 3 times a week, sorry. Or if you can do it 5 times a week for 20 minutes. It could be a simple walk, just walking for 20 minutes, a jog, doing some calisthenics, lifting some weights, because it's chemicals that release in your brain during the course of exercise that creates a sense of relaxation and happiness. Okay, so learning how to get into an exercise routine to calm yourself down so you can manage things better. Okay, now we have ups and downs in our emotions, depending on what's going on with us, depending on the chemicals within our body. You know what I'm saying? How our brain chemical are the makeup of everything, and that's normal. But the part that gets us in trouble is when we get triggered by a situation and we just react to that triggering situation. We don't take the time to either walk away, do a deep breath to calm ourselves down, or we don't take the time to identify how we feel into ourselves and identify what's behind those feelings. That's where the issue come up. Okay. So another thing I say, let's say you're upset and then you get triggered by a situation, you automatically going to react, and that's being impulsive. Okay, you're doing things without thinking things through, without processing how you feel, without thinking about the consequences. If I do this, this might happen. I want you to do that. So if you're in a situation and you feel like, oh my God, this person is getting on my nerves so bad, I really just want to punch them in the face. They say one more thing, that's it, I'm gonna hit them. You know what I'm saying? So if you're thinking that thought, in order to bring yourself down from that heightened emotion, just say, okay, if I hit this person, what's going to happen to me? What's going to be the consequences? I'm going to go to jail. Am my probation going to get extended? You know what I'm saying? Am I, what's going to happen? Just start. That's how you bring logic into it. You start rationalizing, because we're in that emotional mind. When we're angry, it's like our lid is already flipped. So it's hard for us to like rationalize, but just say, okay, if I hit this person, what's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? Or you can do like a mantra. Okay, please let me calm down because I don't want to hit this person. Please let me calm down because I don't want to hit this person, or whatever it is that you want to calm down and what you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? You do little tricks to kind of get yourself from one state to the next. You know what I'm saying? Get out my heightened emotional state that's negative to a more rational, let me look at the consequence type of state. Okay. And then another exercise that we can do, and this is just like if you're just in a continued state of frustration or anger, is visualization. So you do a deep breathing, and then you also visualize like a relaxing experience. Like you can picture yourself on a beach and imagine smelling the salt water, or, tasting the salt water like on your lip if you stepping into the ocean, and your feet walking in the sand. Imagine how it feels on your feet. So you start paying attention to your senses to bring you back to yourself, because when you get angry, it's like something else takes over. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get back in touch with yourself and remember who you are, and what goals you're trying to accomplish in your life, and how no matter what I'm going through, I am going to get through this. So that's another thing I like to say. Affirmations, positive affirmations. Okay. I'm a little bit stressed right now. I'm being real. I'm stressed out. The situation gets on my nerves. I'm tired of it. But this is going to change. It's not going to always be this way. Okay. Because every time we have an emotion, we get heightened. It feels like, oh my God, it's always going to be this way. It's the end of the world, blah, 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 blah. No, it's going to come down. It's going to come down off that wave. It's going to level out. But you can make the experience better by doing these techniques I just explained, to kind of calm yourself. And like I always say, it's not like you can watch this video, or we can have a session and you automatically heal. Like, let me just go to a therapist, counselor, and be healed. You have to practice it. Practice makes perfect. And then practicing it is not an easy task. You know what I'm saying? Because we're creatures of habit. So we're used to doing things the way we're used to doing it. And it's going to be hard to step outside what you used to try a different method. But this is what it's about. It's about breaking patterns, because that's what it is. You're stuck in a cycle. You're stuck in a loop. You're stuck in a pattern. So you're going back and forth in this looping pattern that's not helping you, especially if there's a lot of anger and frustration, irritation, violence with it. You got to learn how to break the cycle by trying something different. You know what I'm saying? You're going to feel out of your comfort zone, out of your level. And you're going to wonder, like, I'm just going to revert back to what I used to do. But reverting back to what you used to do, is it helping you grow as a person? That's the question. Okay. All right. So this is what I have for you. I want y'all to like pay attention to that feelings wheel twice a day. Identify 3 emotions from each layer of the wheel. And then ask yourself, okay, what's behind that emotion? You know what I'm saying? And just get in touch with yourself. Even if you get angry, okay, what am I feeling? And express your anger. Then why are you feeling that way? Okay. All right. Until next time.